Okay, let's have a look at how to summarize the leases. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go into the reports and export the Excel reports from the system. Now that gives you the lease schedules you need in order to summarize it on Excel. Alright, so I've already done that, and here is the report. So if I were to open up the report that comes straight from the system, I mean, you might maintain your own lease schedules, which is fine as well, but I'll show you what comes out from the system and which we can use to go ahead and summarize. So the main report that I'm after here is the lease monthly schedules. So this basically is all the leases which have all the lease schedules, rather I should say, and this is how it is laid out. Okay, so all you need to do is to basically copy the leases from here, and then we take it to our summary Excel. Now this is the summary Excel which you can download from the website. So the first thing you're going to have to do is to paste the leases which you have, or paste your own leases here, so then you can work off that data. Now I would recommend that you highlight all of the columns up to here and delete it first and then paste it, because if you were to paste it and if you have less leases, you might end up with some data at the end which is not your data. This column is a formula column. Now this one links to the individual leases, and all it does is it identifies whether it is an internal lease or an external lease. So what I mean by internal and external lease is if the lease is within the group, I have categorized it as an internal lease. If the lease is external to the group, then it's an external lease. Now it's important to know what is internal leases and external leases when you're doing consolidated financial statements, because you will have to eliminate the internal leases, and that's why it's important to be able to categorize it and know the data or the summary information of that, so you can actually go ahead and do your eliminations. Now, so moving from here, once you got the base data saved in here, you go into the work tab, and the work tab you can actually specify the period that you're wanting to see the information for. Now so basically I've set it here from 1st of July 2024 to the 31st of December 2024. So it will bring in the lease installments that are paid by lease, and here I actually have leases for two companies, so you can see there's a differentiation between two companies, and I've summarized the data which is summarized by lease, then I've further summarized it by the company and the lease group or category here. So this is the base data that is brought from the leases to start off with. Then from here, so all you need to do is to basically say the period that you're interested in, and you need to categorize it here whether it's an internal or external lease. That data is then taken over here, and this is the summary reports which I have just designed, which you can use as a start point for your leases, or developing your own summary template. So basically what I've done is I have summarized the lease by lease movements. I've also summarized the lease between current and non-current, and I've also summarized the leases between internal and external, and also done it by period, so therefore you can see your future liabilities which are coming up, which is internal and external as well, and obviously the finance cost, and at the end to show your final liability there. I've also summarized the right of use assets, again breaking it up by company and by each of the individual leases. So it is pretty easy to use once you've set it up. I've used the workings tab as the one area where you'll have to do the input, with the rest of the areas being automatically calculated, and the areas highlighted in green here is the areas you will perform your input changes in order for it to calculate. One thing to note is with the schedule, when you paste your leases here, if you have more lease entries than what is on here, just make sure that the formula here is going all the way to the end. If it doesn't, your internal external lease groupings or totals will not tally to your total leases. So that's one thing to note. Another important thing to note is that your end date, and this is the case for any method you use or any system you use, if you have lease modifications after your end date, then your assets and liabilities and even your depreciation, future depreciation and accumulated depreciation and all will not be accurate. So it's important to note. So each year it's important to keep a copy of your leases, so that if there are lease modifications in the future, you have a copy of the leases as they stood at the time you ran your reports. So that's a quick overview of the lease summary. It can be downloaded from the website. I will leave some instructions in an article of which I'm looking to put on LinkedIn, so that anybody who is interested in the lease summary can just download it. Okay, thank you for your interest, and I hope this helps you.